A very good evening to you. You are watching Prime TV News. Let's take a look at today's headlines first. President releases the first waters of Kaluganga and opens the Ambana new town. Another 2 stages of the expressway are opened. Sajith Premadasa plans to launch a national nutrition policy on behalf of mothers and children. SB's 2 security officers are remanded. Minister Mangala Samaravira has said that some are attempting to misinterpret the MCC agreement. And in headlines overseas, 37 perish in an attack on a Canadian mining convoy. And now we move on to the news in detail. President Maithripala Sirisena has said that he does not agree with the candidates of the 2 main parties of the presidential election to give chemical fertilizer free of charge. The president expressed this view at the release of the first waters of the Kaluganga reservoir and the vesting of the Ambana new town in the public. The release of the waters of the Kaluganga reservoir linked to the Murugahakanda reservoir project took place this morning under the patronage of the president. The Kaluganga reservoir has been established blocking the Kaluganga from the Pallegama area in Laggala, from where the river begins in the Kalupahana area from the foothills of the Knuckles mountain range within the Mathale district. Its total water capacity is 248 million cubic meters. After the release of the waters of the Kaluganga reservoir, the president joined in the opening of the Ambana new town. Accordingly, addressing a media conference held after the opening of the regional hospital built within the Ambana new town, President Maithripala Sirisena pointed out that there is a danger of a rise in kidney patients as a result of the use of chemical fertilizer. The 3rd and 4th stages of the Southern Expressway project were opened today. Remarkably, no politicians were present on the occasion. The stretch from Baravakumbura to Mattala Airport and Hambantota Harbour was vested with the public by Secretary of the Road Development Ministry Sunil Hettiarachchi and Chairman of the Road Development Authority Nihal Suryarachchi. A 15-kilometre segment from Vatia to Andaravava was built under the 3rd phase, while the 4th phase of the expressway project was a 25-kilometre segment from Andaravava to Mattala Hambantota. The Southern Expressway project was carried out with a loan assistance of the Exim Bank of China. The estimated expenditure exceeded 103 billion rupees. The expressway consists of 4 lanes. There are facilities to add another 2 lanes to the expressway. There are 8 interchanges for this stretch of the expressway. They are located at Godagama, Aparakka, Beliyatta, Kahagalla, Angunukola Palassa, Vatia, Suryavava and Andaravava. With the extension of the Southern Expressway up to Mattala, the total distance from Kottava is 222 kilometres. Accordingly, it takes 2 hours and 30 minutes to travel from Colombo to Hambantota. The travelling time from Colombo to Katharagama is 3 hours and 30 minutes. The launch of this expressway project will grant many economic benefits to the country. A majority state that this is a massive stride taken in the local transport sector. Presidential candidate Sajith Premadasa has said that he will launch a national nutrition policy on behalf of mothers and children. Sajith Premadasa made this reference joining in a public meeting held in Badulla. public rally to consolidate the victory of the presidential candidate of the New Democratic Front was held in the Valimada area. A large gathering, including many parliamentarians, joined in this meeting. Sajith Premadasa received a very warm reception from the people who were present. Addressing the rally, Sajith Premadasa said that the three-wheeler drivers numbering millions will be given an interest-free loan of 300,000 rupees without any bonds. A national nutrition policy specially on behalf of mothers and children will be launched. Preschool education will be included in the free school education system. Hitherto, it is not necessary for parents to pay salaries and wages for preschool teachers, assistant wardens and assistant teachers. The government will cover these expenses. Preschool education will be streamlined. Separate buildings will be put up for preschools. He assured that their future government will mediate in providing lunch for preschools. Meanwhile, another meeting organized to ensure the victory of Sajith Premadasa was held in the Bandaravela town. A large gathering including members and party organisers representing the Podujana Eksath Peramuna, the Sri Lanka Freedom Party and the Sri Lanka Estate Labourers Union joined in this meeting, pledging their support to Sajith Premadasa. Sajith Premadasa said that he would increase the daily wage of the estate workers from 750 rupees to 1,500 rupees. Another public rally to consolidate the victory of Sajith Premadasa was also held in the Kandakatia area in Vialua. This meeting too was attended by a large gathering. At this meeting, he said that the 2,000 rupee allowance given for elders will be increased to 3,000 rupees and a special social security program will be implemented for their protection. Sajith Premadasa said that the older generation should be protected. As such, the allowance granted to them should be increased from 2,000 to 3,000 rupees and action should be taken to accord them social security. Public employees, in addition to the pensioners, will be well looked after. He told the gathering that they will soon receive his policy statement. He said that they had not exploited funds to print out his policy statement. It is with great difficulty that he is getting his policy statement printed. As such, within the next 2 days, each and every house will receive a copy of it. Presidential candidate Gotabaya Rajapaksa has said that his prime aim is to implement a simple tax system to uplift the local industry as well as encourage investors and the business community, strengthening the country's income. He declared that a practical program will be launched to uplift all local industries. Another rally in the series of public rallies organized on behalf of consolidating the victory of the presidential candidate of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, Gotabaya Rajapaksa, was held in the Mathugama town. The rally was held under the theme Successful Vision, a Working Country. A large gathering including many public representatives joined in this meeting expressing support to Gotabaya Rajapaksa. Opposition leader Mahinda Rajapaksa also addressed this public meeting. Further expressing his views at this meeting, Gotabaya Rajapaksa said that all proposals put forward by him in his policy statement can be implemented. SLPP presidential candidate Gotabaya Rajapaksa reiterated that an aspirant governance of his would safeguard the local industrialists at all costs. Local industries were thoroughly neglected by the current government. For instance, the importation of low-cost Chinese cardboard has left the local cardboard industry in ruins. Gotabaya Rajapaksa envisaged a simpler and a fairer taxation system which will encourage industries as well as investors. VAT will be reduced to 8%. The presidential candidate said that more investments and business opportunities will bolster the national economy. A public rally was organized in the Badulupitia area to consolidate the victory of National People's Power Movement presidential candidate Anura Kumara Disanayake. JVP propaganda secretary Tilvin Silva said that even though the Rajapaksa regime kicked off their campaign with an intellectual outlook with programs such as Vyatmaga, they have now ultimately returned to the same old politics with more promises. Gotabaya Rajapaksa is inept at politics. He deserted the army and the nation in the heat of the war and only returned following his brother's appointment as president. Veteran artist Deephani Silva said the time has come for the people to reject the vile political culture of thievery, bribery and corruption. Public employees who were unable to cast their postal votes in the past few days in relation to the presidential election were given an opportunity to exercise their franchise today. Public employees who had so far not been able to cast their postal vote were afforded an opportunity to do so in the district election offices located in areas where their workplaces are situated. The Elections Commission said that they were given the opportunity of casting their postal votes from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. today. Casting of postal votes with respect to the presidential election took place on the 31st of last month and on the 1st, the 4th and the 5th of this month. 659,317 were eligible to cast postal votes. The Tamil National Alliance today officially announced its support for the New Democratic Front candidate Sajith Premadasa at the presidential election. The Tamil National Alliance has mentioned that it is only Sajith Premadasa who has the ability to find an acceptable solution to the national problem out of the two main candidates contesting the presidential election. As such, issuing a statement, it has called on the TNA allied parties to join on behalf of the victory of Sajith Premadasa. A statement issued by the Tamil National Alliance said that it drew the attention to the past actions and the present behaviour of the two main candidates. Accordingly, the Tamil National Alliance pointed out that it is Sajith Premadasa who can find solutions to the national issue within an undivided country. Also, it is Sajith Premadasa who has an acceptable solution to the issue of missing persons and those imprisoned, the release of land and the resettlement process. Also, the president to be elected in the future should fulfill the promises given by the Sri Lankan government to the local as well as the international community. Sorting out these problems should be done not only for the Tamil community but also on behalf of the entire nation. The statement issued by the Tamil National Alliance further pointed out that when considering these facts and going through the policy statements, Sajith Premadasa is their selection. The statement has been issued with the approval of Tamil National Alliance leader R. Sampanthan, Ilankai Tamil Arasu Katchi leader Mavai Senanthiraja, Tello leader Selvam Adekaranathan and plot leader Dharmalingam Siddharthan. Moving on to other local news. Two police officers of the Kandy District Parliamentarian SP Disanayaka's Security Division have been taken into custody with respect to a shooting incident that took place yesterday. The incident had happened while the parliamentarian was returning after participating in a cluster meeting of the presidential campaign of the Podujana Peramuna in the Konthalan area in Ginigathena. The van in which a group that was on its way home from Navalapitiya after participating in a wedding had collided with a van of the Ministerial Security Division. Following an argument between the two groups, our correspondent reported that the Security Division had left after opening fire at the group. Ravindra Rashan, a resident of Minuanenia, and Charit Madhushan, a resident of Polpitiya, were injured in the shooting. Our correspondent reported that they are now receiving treatment at the Karavanalla Base Hospital. The Ginigathena police said that two officials of the Ministerial Security Division, the vans and the two pistols suspected to be used in the shooting were produced in the Hatton Magistrates Court. The two security officers were remanded till the 11th of this month. Minister Mangala Samaravira has said that some are attempting to misinterpret the NCC agreement. The finance minister further said that it is not an agreement detrimental to the country.
In fact, what should be of greater concern to all Sri Lankans at this moment is not the MCC agreement, which, as I showed, will bring many benefits to all Sri Lankans, but we should be more concerned about the fact that one of the principal candidates of the presidential elections to be held next week has still not renounced his US citizenship, and his wife and son continue to be fully fledged citizens of the United States of America. In order to renounce the citizenship, as you know, a US passport holder must obtain what is called a certificate of loss of nationality with the US Treasury, where the DS4079 is approved for denunciation. In the first 6 months of 2019, about 1,090 have been officially recorded with who have denounced their US citizenship in this first 6 months. However, there is no approval. There is no approved DS4079 for Gotabaya Rajapaksa in any of the 94 district courts of the United States of America. We have checked in all 94 district courts, and there is absolutely no indication that his nationality has been renounced. But of course, the filing could well be sitting here in the US Embassy in Colombo to be cleared. Usually transactions and procedural backlogs between the US Treasury and the US State Departments, we have been told, take to 16 to 24 months to clear. And it is also a very lengthy process due to the taxation portions if income and assets are greater than the stipulated amount. I believe the stipulated amount is $2 million US. So until all tax files also have been cleared, this renunciation will not take place. Even after the approval by the State Department, there is a further 6 to 9 months with the US Treasury when the DS4079 was approved, will be approved for renunciation. Therefore, it is extremely clear that Mr. Gotabaya Rajapaksa remains a US citizen today while being a candidate for the presidency of Sri Lanka.
And finally, on local news, the scarcity of gas ends. A gas shipment has already been received. Distribution is now underway. The gas scarcity that persisted in the last few days has come to an end. According to our reporters, the respective companies are engaged in swift distribution. The gas companies have assured an undisrupted supply of gas from this week onwards. Minister P. Harrison said the gas shipments for Christmas and the New Year are already being received. And with that, we head into the business segment. The Colombo Dockyards PLC led the keel to commence shipbuilding work on the third boat for the Sri Lanka Ports Authority. The ceremony marked the commencement of the hull construction work of the 19-meter fast pilot boat. The boat is expected on August 13, 2020. The 19-meter boat is designed by Scotland. The boat will serve to transport pilots from shore to ship. The boat can accommodate a total number of 8 persons, including 4 crew members and 4 pilots, and it can achieve a service speed of around 22 knots. The boat is designed to hold a high degree of stability and comfort in all weather conditions, and they will provide a stable platform during embarking and disembarking pilots. That's all the news we have for you tonight. I'm Umayangi Vijayasuriya signing off for Prime TV News. Have a pleasant evening.